Good morning, America. My name is Dr. Jeff, and today we are going to be talking about the hottest topic going around in the world today, Q fever. We're just going to be going around talking about how Q fever is formed. So, just to throw some facts out there, Q fever is caused by the microbe Coxella bureti. It's a bacterium that's worldwide, but it is affecting Australia today. Coxella bureti is an obligate intercellular bacterium that occurs worldwide. Not only for cattle, sheep, or goats, it also affects humans like us. Coxella bureti can survive for many months due to its environment. But having contact with humans, it spreads like a wildfire just by breathing in the dust that's been contaminated by animal feces, urine, milk, or any other birth products that contain Coxella bureti. Direct contact, include touching, being licked, or having any physical contact with animals, will result in sickness of Q fever. Many people also get Q fever by eating contaminated food, animal products, cheese, or any animal meat. Rarely, Q fever is spread through any blood transfusion, but a pregnant woman still could have Q fever. And now it's more than my honor to welcome Dr. Phil to this talk show. I would want to know more about his personal life aside from the video, talk to him one-on-one, and let you guys know about it too. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, the time has come. It is more than my honor to call Dr. Phil to the stage for him to explain his personal life story. Welcome, Dr. Phil.
Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to meet you. Thank you, Dr. Phil, for being with us today on this talk show and explaining about your life story.
Thank you, it's an honor.
So let's just start about the background about your life and how you really decided to research about Coxella bureti.
So ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to research diseases and bacteria. So I went to college and majored in microbiology. And one of my friends, Joe, when he was 25, he was diagnosed with this disease, Q fever. So a little backstory on Joe. Me and Joe have been friends since childhood. So I really knew him well. But when he got diagnosed with Q fever and the doctors said it was untreatable, it really took a toll on me, but he always stayed positive during that.
So how did you first come to know that he was diagnosed with Q fever?
So he started showing symptoms, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and at first I thought, oh, maybe it's just food poisoning. But he showed these symptoms for about 2 weeks, and usually food poisoning is cleared up by a week. So me being that I majored in microbiology, I took him to the doctor, and they had come up with the fact that he had the microbe Coxella bureti in his system.
Do you know by any way how he's been diagnosed with this? What was the cause?
So Joe is actually a farmer, so he owns his own farm, right? And this disease is actually zoonotonic, meaning that it can be transmitted from animals to humans, such as cows, cattle, horses, and goats. So because of this, he has such a close relation with his animals. Obviously, as I said before, he's a farmer. So it's really not that surprising that he got diagnosed with it, because as being that we're located in Australia, where Q fever is actually most prevalent.
Alright, so what are some factors, how can you get diagnosed with Q fever? You said he works on a farm, it can be spread through animals, but how can it be spread? What kind of contact?
So Q fever can be spread through indirect as well as direct contact. Physical contact, such as an example is a cattle licking you or a goat licking you, can be transferred through the saliva glands into your skin pores. Indirect contact, as in, let's say you milk a cow, the cow has Q fever or the microbe in it. If the milk is not pasteurized, meaning that it's heated up, in which microbe and any other harmful enzymes are burned during the pasteurization.
Thank you. So you said that Joe's been diagnosed with Q fever, right? And some symptoms you've stated are he has headaches and so on. Have you researched what happens in the internal body systems? How does this microbe Coxella bureti travel through your body, and what does it do?
So, well, as a matter of fact, Jeff, I have actually researched that. So the microbe Coxiella burnetii, as stated before, can be transferred through many different ways, primarily animals. So once the microbe enters through your skin pores or nasal cavity, it usually makes a direct entrance into the bloodstream, and then tries to bond with these white blood cells, a division in white blood cells known as macrophages.
Cool. So can you go in more depth about what macrophages are? So like from my studies before, I know that they're located in the white blood cells and they help clean up like different like infections that come in your body. But can you explain a bit more about that?
So macrophages, as you said, Jeff, they are a division of white blood cell and they do clean up infections. But specifically what they do is they actually ingest these microbes. So they have special sensory organelles, in which that they're used to grab these microbes, in which that the macrophage ingests these microbes, breaking it down using special enzymes and using its energy for food.
So like you say macrophages, like they just like take out the infections. They're like the cleanup crew in your white blood cells. So how does this microbe get past the macrophage? Like won't it just die when it tries to enter?
So macrophages are a very strong opponent, and most of the diseases that enter your body, because there's bacteria everywhere and they enter your body, most of them get completely wiped out. But what Coxiella burnetii does that's very unique is that when it goes inside the macrophage, as it gets ingested, bond with macrophages and create phaetogenic vesicles.
So like I've heard when many infections like go into your body has a way to like respond. So like like an example is if you're like cold out in snow, your body's way to respond to that is shivering, trying to get you warm. What steps does your body take when Coxiella burnetii enters your body?
So the body has its main defense, as I said, macrophages. But because Coxiella burnetii is a very hefty disease, it can avoid these macrophages. The body has to trigger another defense called apoptosis. So apoptosis is basically programmed cell death. So when the body activates apoptosis, it sends out these things called T cells that check whether or not which cells macrophages are infected, right? And then these cells are commanded to commit suicide or program cell death. So when a macrophage is commanded to commit suicide, they basically release a special protein called cytochrome C. So this protein basically breaks down the cell, slows down the metabolism in the mitochondria in order for the cell to successfully break down.
So I have another question, in fact. So you say the body takes apoptosis to try to eliminate the cell. So does Coxiella burnetii end there, or does it try to like inflict more damage to the human body? Like, what kind of steps does this microbe
Well,
take?
for a matter of fact, Jeff, apoptosis doesn't complete when Coxiella burnetii is in the body. So what, as I said earlier, something unique that the disease does is that it creates these vesicles. So what these vesicles does is that's the cytochrome C that's emitted during apoptosis that actually gets diminished, and the gene that controls this is actually turned off by the vesicles, right? They basically interfere with the signals sent by the host or the body. So because the cytochrome C is diminished, the cell is kind of in this life-death stage where the cell thinks it's dead, the body thinks the cell is dead, but the cell is continuing to function because the cytochrome C hasn't been released. So Coxiella burnetii is in the body undetected.
Thank you. Thank you for informing us about what you have spent during your life story and what you've been researching about this disease. Now, on to the treatment part. Due to your research and like what you've been looking at, have you found any cures to this disease?
So there's actually a vaccine available in Australia currently, but there are some trade-offs with this vaccine. The first being that there's a lot of side effects you can suffer. You have to be 15 years or older, so if let's say you're 13, you're out of luck. So if you catch the disease, then you're going to have to do the normal treatment. So for treatment, as in cure-wise, if you do get it, there is an antibiotic called doxycycline, which can be used to basically keep the bacteria from multiplying and then completely kill it off.
Alright, so suppose you're under the age of 15, right? There's so many kids that get infected under the age of 15.
Yeah.
So what would you tell them, like how to like get rid of it? Like would there be any like mental treatment going on, some therapy?
So actually, for people who can't afford antibiotics, because as you know, medical treatment is very expensive, the disease can actually be cured without antibiotics. Like your body will recover from 3 to 5 weeks. Antibiotic therapy is recommended for 2 weeks, but without it, you can still recover. You'll be perfectly fine after 3 to 5 weeks.
All right. Thank you so much for being on our talk show today. And I bet everyone around here who's watching this and me are very thankful for your knowledge to spread to us. Thank you so much.